Hello, dear students. I hope that all of you are safe and sound. Um, so today's lecture is about Renaissance value. We've already talked about Renaissance, and this topic is connected to the preceding topics that we've already covered, right? Um, Values are the ideas and beliefs a person finds most important, right? Individuals have values, groups of people living in the same time and place have values, right? Um, and they express these values in arts, in literature, um, in government, and in every aspect of their lives, right? If we talk about America, their most common value is practicality, right? And we see practicality in America. Their great buildings are not highly decorated, right? Because for them these things are of no importance. If we look at the Middle Ages, so the people in Middle Ages valued the spiritual side of life and getting to heaven. Their important buildings were churches, cathedrals, and they invited visitors and worshippers to see their church and to feel as if they are in heaven, right? Renaissance people also had certain common values: um, humanism, individualism, um, skepticism, well-roundedness, secularism, classicism. They all were their values, right? Okay, and if if you want to know how they expressed these values, so we see these values in their buildings, in their writing, painting, sculptures, science, and almost in every aspect of their lives, right? They inherited most of these values from Greek and Romans, and these values have been passed on to us as well, right? Our values make us act, organize ourselves differently from others, right? Okay, talking about humanism, a Renaissance value. It is actually the belief that that human being is the measure of all things. It is the belief that people and their activities are more important and interesting, right? So people who are not humanists, they see human being less important or insignificant, right? They place more value on God, on religion, or on science, or on nature or whatever, but not on humans, right? And humanism was actually the most common value of Renaissance, right? Renaissance people were also individualist, right? Um, they thought it right to be themselves, to think for themselves, right? During the Renaissance, the growth of arts, socialism, religion, and many other important works began to take place. Individualism actually allowed people more freedom to choose what they wanted in their life, right? This was um, this was a big change if you compare it to the medieval times, right? In Middle Ages, um, they did not have any freedom, but Renaissance allowed more opportunities of freedom to them, right? Okay. Um, Well-roundedness. Renaissance people, they were they valued well-roundedness. They thought that an ideal person was the one who was interested in many things, active in many fields. For them, a Renaissance man should master every area of study, and a Renaissance woman was expected to inspire art, to know classics, and to be charming, right? Okay. Secularism. Um, Secularism means worldliness, or a belief in the importance of this life on earth, right? So in Renaissance time, secularism was defined as most basically the separation of religion and state. um, Making money, traveling, and making your house more comfortable are secular activities. Praying, going to church, religion, they are not, right? So that's why the Renaissance period was more secular than religious, right? Okay. Classicism. Renaissance people valued classicism. They were interested in the classical age, the time of the Greeks and Romans, right? Um, and the classical age was a time when people were also secular, individualistic, humanistic, and they were questioning, right? So um, they actually looked back to find their roots, Renaissance people, right? We also can learn something about ourselves and what we consider important by looking back to the Renaissance. Okay, skepticism. Um, Skepticism is a questioning attitude towards knowledge, facts, beliefs, or it's a doubt regarding claims that are for granted, right? Um, it was seen as a good thing to experiment, to try new things, and by trying this to shake up the system, right? If we look back at the Middle Ages, so you would see the exactly opposite of it, right? Um, do not question anything, have faith, right? But Carl Sagan, he says that claims require evidence, and extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidences, right? Um, okay, so that's all for today. Thank you very much. Let me know if you find any problem